and welcome back to yet another intermediate Britgrid blender class, or Britgrid intermediate blender class, or was that just the same? That might just be the same. Well, welcome back anyway. We've had a little break, so it's been some time since we did anything to our modular house, but today we're going to carry on and we're going to make the lower kind of section. So let's crack on with that, shall we? You can see from the screen here that I have my snapping enabled to vertex to the closest. So I've just selected this, and I'm in orthographic mode here, so I've just clicked on the little, looks like a waffle. I don't know why it looks like a waffle. It might be because I'm hungry. Anyway, so I've just clicked on the little waffle here that kind of changes it from perspective view into orthographic view. Now what we want to do is we want to select, I've just gone into edge select mode, and I'm just shift selecting the bottom edge of this window, and I'm going to shift E it, and I'm just going to move it down a little bit like that. Actually I probably didn't need to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of those two middle verts. Don't actually need those, so I'm just going to go delete, and we can do a dissolve vertices probably on that, which will give us a single kind of straight edge. Now I'm going to extrude that. I'm just going to extrude it down by pressing the E key and dragging the y-axis, I think it is, down a little bit. And in fact I need to make this, roughly speaking, I'm going to say about 2/3 of the height of our individual window panel. Now I'm going to press L. I'm going to try and press L. Let's go to vertex select. So no, that doesn't like it. Yes, it does. It was taking its time. Just to select all the verts in that panel, and I'm going to separate it out to its own instance, to its own object. So I'm going to say separate selection, and hopefully that will have, if I select it in object mode and then go back to edit mode, that should make it its own object. There we go. Now we need to start dividing this up kind of crossways across the face. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this edge, and I'm going to do Control R, and then I'm going to scroll my mouse wheel up, and we probably want, I'm going to say, that many cuts in it. So, and I'm just going to move those, up a little bit, so we've got a kind of thin strip across the top here. Then I'm going to move this one up just a little bit, and this one up just a little bit, and then I'm going to move, just debating whether that's looking right. Let's give it a bit more space. We don't want to be stingy on the space. It doesn't cost us anything, does it? So I'm just arranging this, and I'm just thinking what we're going to do. I'm just wondering if I put too many cuts in that. Probably not is the answer to that. Probably not. So I'm just messing about now. I'm good at that. So I've arranged this now. Whoa! Where's that gone to? Right, I tell you what, let's fix that before we do anything else. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select the object, and I'm just going to press my / key, my / key on my number pad, which will just isolate that object. So it just gives us I think it's called local view or something like that, which means that we're only seeing just that object, not everything else. Now, what I want to do is I want to go into face select mode. I want to select that face, and I want to select that face, and I'm just going to extrude them out a little. So I'm going to select that one. I'm going to turn off my snap because I don't want things snapping at the moment. And I'm just going to pull that up a little bit so that we've got a bit of edge definition on these edges here. This top one, I'm just going to pull out a little bit. In fact, that was probably, let's Control Z that. We can do it just by moving the face. So let's move that face up like that. Right, perfect. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select one of these edges. I can see I've gone out of orthographic mode, so I'm just pressing the numbers on the keypad to go back into orthographic mode. So I'm now gonna do an edge thingy. I'm gonna do Control R. I don't know what is that when it's at home. It's probably, I don't know, edge subdivision, something like that. And then I'm going to press Control and B to bevel it. Whoops. Oh, I'm going to put it in there first, then do Control B to bevel it, if I can. Control and B. There we go. And I'm just going to widen that out a little bit, like that. So that's looking good so far. And then we can go into face select mode. Just select this face. And we're going to extrude that out. Well, in fact, we're going to extrude it backwards. Just by a little bit like that. Maybe just a tad more than that. So we can just stretch that out a little bit more. Now, some of these faces that we've got on this geometry we don't actually want, and the ones we don't actually want is this face here, and I'm just shift selecting this face, and this face, and this face, so we can just press delete and say faces, delete those faces. Perfect. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put in another edge loop here. Let's go back to our normal select. So I'm going to do Control R again, and I'm just going to accept that edge loop. Perfect. Now I'm going to move this edge loop up a little bit, and I think we will select all of these, and I think I'm going to just tweak those and move them down a little bit. So I've selected them all, shift selecting, let's just tweak that down a little bit, something like that. Now I seem to remember what we need to do next, I think, is I think we're going to bevel something. I think maybe this, let's try that one. So I'm just doing Shift and Alt and selecting the whole thing. Let's try a Control B on that. and we can kind of pull it out, and we can roughly just trying to size that a little bit. We can roughly, well, 3. I'm going to try and get a, don't know how many cuts we need in there. And it's interesting that the cuts aren't being, okay, I might just select everything and apply, let's do it in object mode. Let's apply all transforms to that and then go back into edit mode. Just didn't like the way that was working then, so I'm just doing Shift and Alt and selecting that edge again. We can go into, press my number keys, we can go into kind of orthographic mode. So we're still going to do a Control B on it. We're just going to pull that across, use the mouse to subdivide it. Okay, those subdivisions aren't great. I was hoping I could. And I'm going to go for, I'm going to try and make it look roughly even. So I'm going to go for something like that. Okay. Now what we can do is we want to, just debating if that's a bit too big. It might be, but we can deal with that later. Now what we want to do is we want to add in some cylinders. So, and we want to turn on snapping, but this time we want to be snapping to faces. And we want to be snapping to the centre of the face. And we can snap our cursor. So we can do somewhere in here. There is something to do with the cursor. We can do, I can't find it now. Is it under mesh? Let's do snap cursor to selected. That's good. And let's just go back to, just going to go back to front view. What I'd like to do now is I'd like to go into object mode, and I would like to add in a cylinder. So I'm going to add in a mesh cylinder. It's a bit big. We can drop the vertex down, the faces down on this. I'm going to choose maybe 12, and then I'm just going to scale that right down. There we go, something like that. And then I'm going to rotate it on the x-axis. So rotate on x, and then 9, 0, and press enter. I'm going to go back to my front view, if I can. Let's do this in wireframe mode. Now, let's do it in that mode. I'm just going to tweak that down a little bit, and we want to shade that smooth really. So let's go to shade smooth. And let's also go to the that one. I think that's object data properties, and choose auto smooth. We can also do that for our main. Oh, it's already on for our main piece of geometry there. That's fine. We don't really need a bottom face to that, so we can go to edit mode, we can select the bottom face, and we can just say delete, and we'll delete that face. And this face, we're going to try and snap it to the top. Then we're going to go into edge select mode. We're going to select, whoops, a daisy, did I get that? We're going to select this bottom edge. We can go to our, boom, boom, pressing the number keys. We can go to our orthographic view, and I'm just going to change that. Let's go back to vertex. I'm just going to move this down and try snapping it to the vertex. Then we can change back to face mode. We can select all of it. We can delete it, not delete it, we can duplicate it. So Shift D, and we can try moving it across. That should snap to that face, and same again, Shift D, move it across using the cursory widget thingamajigger. See if we can get that to snap into the middle of that face, which maybe we can't. Maybe it's not terribly happy with that. Let's Control Z that. Don't know why that's having such a problem. Okay. It's kind of interesting that it is that snapping. I'm not sure it is. Anyway, we can do another Shift D. It's not really important that it's not snapping, to be honest, to be perfectly frank. And we can use the same, roughly the same method to try and position this one. Let's do an L select on that. Let's do another Shift D. Let's move it across using the cursor keys. Position that roughly in the middle. Shift D. Move it across, not the cursor keys, the arrow widget thingamajigger. And then we can move that one across a little bit. And then another Shift D. And then use the widgety thing to move that across roughly into the middle here. Then we can Shift select all of these. We can go to where am I here? Let's go individual origins. I think that was probably set already. I'm going to scale those, but I'm going to scale them without scaling on the Z. So I'm going to press S for scale, and then I'm going to press Shift and Z, which means don't scale them on the Z. Oh, maybe it doesn't. Let's try. Let's try scale. S for scale. We don't want to scale them. X, Y, Z. I thought Shift and Z. Okay. Don't really matter. Tell you what we'll do. We'll just scale them down a bit, like that. Oh, scale. More like that. Okay, that's not looking too bad. Then we can, let's change our snap point. Let's snap to edges. Let's go to wireframe. Let's deal with the bottom first. So I'm going to do B for box select. I'm going to press my middle mouse button and unselect all these top sections. And I'm going to press B again, and I'm going to unselect all the middle sections. Then I'm going to press my numeric keypaddy thing to go to orthographic. Just going to slide that down and snap it. then I am going to press A a few times to unselect everything. Going to do B for box select. Going to select all of those. I don't want these edges to be selected, so I'm just shift and clicking to deselect them. And I'm just going to pull this up so those bars are, they're still not quite correctly spaced, are they? So let's grab this one. Let's grab this one. It's because, what is it because? I think it's because, yeah, no, it's because the way we put the bevel in means that those lines are on a bit of an angle. We could correct that, but to be honest, for what we're doing, I don't think it really matters. So let's not worry about it. So let's go back into viewport shading. I don't know if that's going to bug me. It might. It might bug me. We could use edge slide to correct it. We could try using edge slide to correct it, in which case we would just edge slide. Let's see if we can slide it in. So we've done that one. Let's do this one. So edge slide. Where's it gone? Edge slide, there it is. So we're just trying to move it in so it's matching the cut above it. Same for this one. It's probably a shortcut key for edge slide. I think it's G and G. Let's try it. GG. Yeah, that's what it was. So let's move that one into there. Is it there? That's more like it. Just trying to work out if those are roughly evenly spaced now. Don't think they're too far off. So we could try going back to face and selecting center, and we could try maybe selecting this one, and yeah, that doesn't seem to want to snap to the middle. That is very strange. So why is that snapping not working? Maybe it is. Let's try doing this one. As long as they're roughly in the centre of their little areas, we should be about good. So I'm just using L to select them and trying to position the cursor somewhere handy. Okay, that doesn't look too bad now. So what we can do is, after fanning around with that for a while, we can add a new material in basically. So we can go to our material slot, we can say new, we can select everything, we can assign it, and we can give it a colour. I'm going to colour mine kind of dark green colour. So something like that maybe. And we can go back into this view. I might just turn on, maybe that view. Oh, it's not done everything. Okay, so let's select that, and you can drag and drop from here. So I believe maybe you need to be in object mode to do that. Let's try it. Let's try grabbing this material and just, it doesn't do it, does it? How very interesting. Okay, because I saw Sadiq, I think his name is, do that, and I thought, that's clever. We could do that. But maybe not. Maybe we can't. So let's try assigning that. Why is that not assigning? Maybe we've done something wrong. Which would, yeah, okay. So this let's select all of that. Let's delete these textures that we've got on it. We have to do that in object mode because it doesn't like it otherwise. So let's go doop 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 doop, done. Let me just pause the video because I've got somebody knocking on my door. I shall be right back. Oh, apologies for that. That was just my grandson knocking on the door to pick up his scooter in his scooter helmet, bless him. He's just off over the park. Right, so back to what we were doing. Yeah, so basically our problem here was the wall panel had inherited the materials from the object that we copied the vertices from. So what we actually want to do is we want to make sure we're in edit mode, I suppose, and we want to select one of these. So let's do shift and L maybe to see if I can select, oops, that one. Nope, don't like it. Let's do it in vertex mode. Oh, my mouse is moving about all by itself there. Let's try L. Right, okay. So, and that's still not very happy, is it? For some reason. Is it because they're separate objects? Yeah, they're separate objects. So, tell you what we can do. We'll just shift select and we'll just link everything together. So let's go into edit mode, let's do A, and we can do it's probably, we can, struggling to do this now today. We just need to, we don't need to merge those, that would be silly. We need to, my cat's mewing at me now, I think she wants feeding. We just want to join them. So I think we can just press J and do a join. So J for join. Nope, doesn't like that. Okay, let's go mesh, and I think there's a join in here somewhere. Unless it's in object mode. Let's try it in object mode. Let's try object and then join. That's better. So now we've got the material and everything, which is what we were aiming for. I'm just going to darken that down a little bit. And I'm just going to press my / key on my number pad just to bring back what we had before. Let's go to edit mode, and we need to go, let's do a vertex snap to the closest. We can select, we can shift select this top one here. We can do individual origins. No, we can do active element is what we wanted. Right, so we just need to move this and snap it like that. And now that we've done that, I might stop whinging, Ninja. Shush, I'll get you some dinner in a minute. It's not quite dinner time yet. It's my cat, bless her. What I might like to do, and I think we could probably get away with it, I think I would like to, let's try it, let's go into orthographic front view. What I'd like to do is I'd like to make this great, I don't know whether I want to do it or not. I'm just debating whether I should scale the, we could try it, couldn't we? Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do an A, I'm going to do a B, I'm going to select all of these, I'm going to do it in wireframe mode actually. I'm going to select all of these verts. I'm going to select this top vert if I can, and I'm just going to move that across so it lines up with, it's not lining up with anything. I'm trying to get it to line up with this window edge or anything, just line up with anything. Vertex closest. Okay, that should in theory work. Debating why that isn't working. Let's try it again. So just there we go. So I just wanted to line that up. Then I'm gonna snap the cursor to that selection. Cursor to selected. I'm going to go into face mode and let's do another snap on that. So let's do snap cursor to, I should, don't like that. Why doesn't it like it? Why does it not like that? Let's do snap cursor to active. No. Snap cursor to active. That's better. Now, so if we just go back into front view, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cheat a little bit here. So I'm going to do a scale, so it'll scale it from the cursor. I only want to scale it in the X direction, so scale, press X for X. I'm just going to bring this in a touch and try and roughly line it up like that with that window. Let's see what we've got there. Okay, not looking too shabby. Now what we want to do is we want to press L to shift select it. I will go into object mode and I'm going to apply all the transforms to it, and then we can go back into edit mode. We can do a shift and a D. Shush, Ninja. Oh, this cat, she's so needy. She's lovely, but she's ever so needy. I'm not sure whether she wants feeding or whether she wants to get on my lap. So we're just going to move that across there. Then we want to rotate it we want to rotate it about the y-axis. So rotate y, and we're going to try 90 degrees. That looks that's the wrong way around, isn't it? So let's right click on that. Let's do rotate on y minus 90 and then enter. Then we want to select this shift select this top vert here, and we want to see if we can snap it. See if we can snap it to that one. It doesn't look as if we can at the moment. Let's try. We might need to get a bit clever with what we're doing here. Just move that down, move it across. Oops, nearly there. Whoops. So just move in a bit so we can see what we're doing. Let's try tweaking that up a little bit. So tweak, tweak, tweak. Okay, so it's moved it onto the right part. Let's move that up here. Doesn't want to do it, does it? Doesn't want to do it. Shush, Ninja. Okay, let's try moving that up a little bit more. Oh yeah, has that done it? That's done it. So we've set I shall say that again. We've effectively just snapped that. We've snapped it kind of onto that edge. Now what we're going to do is we're going to and I'm just working out the best way to do this. We want to make some edging. So let's, and I think the quickest way to do this is just to extrude this area here up to here like that. Then we can just fill that face, I think. So let's do that. So we can select the edges and we can just say F for fill, and we can do the same with this one. Sadiq did this somewhat differently, and we're doing the same again. So we want extrude, so we're just going to extrude it up, snap it in place and make a new edge. We can just say F for face. Now actually what we want to do is we want to separate those out, so just into their own I'm going to have to go and deal with my cat in a minute because she's what do you want? Meow? I don't know what meow means. Did you want some food? Should we find you some food in a minute? Alright. Yeah, so we need to separate those out into their own instance. So we'll try that. So let's do mesh, separate, selection, and hopefully if we select those now, don't know why let's go into edit mode. Let's try an L on that and go back to our cursor. Let's see if we can move those away. Yeah, we can, so that's fine. Yes, right, so oh dear, sorry guys. So effectively we've made our corner section. All we need to do now is to kind of duplicate it down. We might need to slide the verts a little bit just to match the kind of window instance if we find it's a bit out. Let's try that. So let's go back to object mode. Let's select this object. Let's go to edit mode. Let's go L. Let's go Shift D. And we can move that across, and let's see if we can snap it. See if we can snap them together. Okay, so that looks about right, and let's just go into front view. And how are we looking for the window? Oh, I see. We should have scaled that, shouldn't we? That doesn't appear to be properly scaled. And we seem to have lost the bars as well. So let's delete that. In fact, let's delete. Let's do vertices. Let's press L on that one, because until we get this right, so let's do delete vertices. Until we get this right, it's a bit pointless carrying on with it. So let's just do a box select on this bit. Luckily we've still got our corner piece. Let's delete those verts as well. So as we were saying, yeah, you can see that that's a little bit out. So, and we're still in the right place here. So what I want to do is I want to go to my face select. I want to select all of these, and then I want to scale. That's really strange. Yeah, I can see why we're out. Or are we? Do you know, we're not out by much. Let's have a look at that. Yeah, no, we are. So let's go. We want to do scale, and we want to scale by the X direction. So scale by X, and we're just gonna. Oh, and we want to do it from the cursor. Let's try that again. Scale by X from the cursor, and we're just going to move that in so it's roughly in the same place as that window. Anyway, I digress. Let's do a shift. Let's do a shift D on that, and we'll just move it over here somewhere. Oops. Let's go back into edit mode. Let's select everything. And let's go to active element. Let's see if we can get it to snap. Yep, we can. And I guess we haven't adjusted those. We need to adjust this one to this window, don't we? So we can press A, we can press B, we can try moving this a little bit. Don't know if that's going to work. Doesn't seem to like that. Might be because it wants to have a particular edge selected. So we could try that. We could try selecting just this edge and seeing if we can snap it. There we go. Snap it onto that one. Yeah, right. So in theory, we should be able to duplicate that section that we've just tweaked across here, you know, another couple of times, and then duplicate this section here and flip it horizontally to get it to match here. But I am conscious of the fact that I've been rabbiting on for quite a while, so I think what we will do is we will call it a day for this particular session. So thank you very much for taking the time to look at this video. I hope you're finding it helpful and informative and possibly interesting as well. So don't forget to give it a like, perhaps leave a comment, and I hope you'll all keep your eye on the channels for any updates on the Britgrid Blender Intermediate class, or whatever we decided to call it. And I'm just going to say thanks for watching, stay safe, and we'll catch you next time. Bye for now.